Hello again, this is Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I have a journal that I want to quickly share. It is one that I made with one of my travel notebook kits, as well as some of the fabrics in the fabric packs that I just listed. So I will flip through this quickly. This is a one signature junk journal. It's covered with a piece of the fabric that I just listed in the kits. This was a beautiful piece of fabric. It was a curtain panel, or that's what I used it for in my retail store that was called Sidetracked. And the tie is just the trim from another beautiful piece of fabric. Some of this fabric will be listed later today, just as an aside. And this is actually a design from a painting I did recently that I printed on fabric, and it says Explore at the top. There's a beautiful little charm here. You can see the Asian looking lady, just the beautiful colors. That's on with a safety pin. And there's a charm that says always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder. There's the little Birdsong stamped on fabric. So just flipping through, there are a lot of the brightly decorated Indian fabrics and boho style fabrics in this journal. There's a charm in the front. That's one of the charms that I made a while back. These are beautiful. I came across some gorgeous, I guess I don't even want to say prints. Let me sit that there to hold it down and I'll show you. I recently came across this stack of beautiful images. They look to me like they were maybe cut from old books or part of some type of educational collection. Some of them are falling apart in that the outer layer or the image side of the paper is coming off of the back part. So I went ahead and scanned all of these so that we don't lose them. This one had been folded. You can see the creases there. And just beautiful scenery. Look at that beautiful little child. I know a lady who looks like this. Pretty. And look at the young lady with the doves. That's beautiful. And there is one, I think I pulled it out and put it aside because it's one that's really, really falling apart. Anyway, I scanned some of these and they are included in the journal. The backs of these, I printed a copy of the beautiful hand marbled paper that I came across recently when I was out searching for ephemera. It's not something I made, someone else did it, and it did look vintage. The paper was really old and it looked like it had some age on it. It was a really special find. There's a piece of the tobacco ephemera from the Traveler's Notebook kits that are in the shop, and they're currently on sale, by the way. There's an old computer card. Oops, I guess I need to put this where I can see what I'm doing. This has a lot of really fun postcards in it. There's the Hilton in Brussels. Really neat. There's a postcard from Africa. Wildlife of East Africa. There is the little piece of fabric map of the world. That is in the Traveler's Notebook. That was a really pretty piece of paper. I have added one of these to each of the Traveler's Notebook kits. They weren't in there originally, but I came across some beautiful paper, very, very thin, and almost like, well, it's not quite as lightweight as tissue paper, kind of like crepe paper. Anyway, it's really pretty. And this has got, you can see little bits of paint. I had fun with this journal, had fun making it. You'll see some more things as we go through. Here is a postcard about coffee. Looks like a little coffee shop. It looks like a wonderful place to visit. Sit there and drink some coffee. There's another pretty charm that I made. It's got 4 beads on it. And here is another one of those beautiful images. There is a postcard, National Trust, Bateman's, East Sussex. Really pretty. Anyway, moving on. There's a pretty little transfer rub-on that's been painted with watercolors. A couple of tickets there, and then in here we have a couple of cards. There's an old playing card, and here's a card that says keys. You have to have your keys for traveling. There's a little transparency there. Just lots of pages from the Traveler's Notebook kit. There are 2 more postcards. That's Barcelona. I love the look of that building. It looks like a little enchanted cottage, but look at this grate over the window. I mean, this might not be, I don't know what this place is. I need to look that up for my own curiosity's sake. And then here's Yosemite National Park. There's a pretty butterfly that I've put in there. And another rub-on transfer. Just beautiful pages, and the fabrics have been included. And there's the pretty trim. There is a pretty charm that I put together with that ceramic heart, and there's a little bead at the top and at the bottom. Let's move that up a tiny bit. And there's a pretty dragonfly stamp, and it has been painted as well. So I love this little envelope. I used one of my stamps and then some watercolor, and I painted Be You, which is really hard to do sometimes. You have to step out of your comfort zone sometimes to be yourself, which seems just so paradoxical, but it's true. So more cards. If you travel, you might see an igloo. I thought it was fun to put that in there. More of the marbled paper, and another one of those beautiful images. National Museum. That's in Holland. So look at this beautiful fabric. There's some of that in the packs that were just listed. And here is a really pretty charm. I love this one. It's just this little oval shaped charm that is from Rare Earth Beads. I bought that during a recent visit. On the back, I believe it says Lucy Lou Designs. It's a little bit hard to read. That is sort of stamped into the metal. Some velvet trim there. And there's a pretty rub-on transfer that's been painted. Another stamp that's been painted. A lot of pretty book pages from children's books, books about vintage transportation. There's more marbled paper there. And just another rub-on transfer. Some postage stamps, and it was not intentional that Patrick Henry ended up getting glued right under the word psychotic. I don't think I would have put him there if I had noticed that. Just one of those things. So here is another beautiful postcard. I think that's just really pretty together. And more beautiful pages. There's a hand-dyed page with some beautiful trim. Another butterfly. And an old Currier and Ives calendar page. I love these little charms. I have quite a few of these, and they look like lanterns, which makes them especially pretty for any kind of nautical or ocean type picture. Reminds me of a lighthouse, and it's one of those that clips on the back with one of those. And there's the inside of that calendar page. Just more beautiful old pages. There's a postcard from Costa Rica and some pretty fabric pocket. I love the center image. This is from an old ad card that I have, Jackson Wagon Company. So I scanned that, and I left any of the defects in that ad card. I did not try to heal because I think it's so beautiful the way it is. Looks very old, and it is old. There's a stamp that's been painted. Another little stamp that has not been painted. That's stamped with some metallic sort of paint. Another beautiful butterfly. And down at the bottom of this page is one of the charms I made with the elephant. Another stamp. Journals like this are so much fun. My thought process has evolved so much. My journaling 30 years ago was straight writing. And I'm so glad that I wrote down so much, because I have so many memories of when my children were little and growing up and going to school, and just things that I was interested in, little notes about trips that we took. And then I guess about 15 years ago, I started to decorate my journals a little more with, gluing things in and illustrating some of the pages. And now something like this, I don't even think of journal as simply writing anymore. This could turn into an art journal. I mean, it's a place where you could sketch wherever there's space in here. You can practice your drawing or whatever, and if you don't like it, glue over it. This is a place to go crazy with inspiration and art, and I'm so glad to have been exposed to so many wonderful channels and watching people make things and teach me things, and it's just, I really appreciate it and enjoy it so much. So there is space in here for writing. There's space to just have fun, but there's also a lot of pretty decoration in here. There's one of the little turtle charms, more book pages, another stamp. We've got postage stamps and we have ink stamps. I love this page. That's part of a shell, and it's kind of hard to tell that, but this looks like a place on the shoreline. And here's some neat postcards. So this is a Bull Durham card. The legend of Bull Durham smoking tobacco began during the Civil War. The Bull trademark was registered by 1866, inspired by the Coleman mustard logo. Bull Durham memorabilia on display at the Duke Homestead State Historic Site and Tobacco Museum in Durham, North Carolina. So that's a really pretty card, that package of smoking tobacco. And then this is a neat old postcard from 1962, postmarked in California. And I love it when these old cards have the stamps and the postmark and the writing. So there's a pretty little butterfly that's been painted. And then here we have a beautiful old photograph. That looks like it might be Niagara Falls. So it's an authentic photograph there. Map page. There's some beautiful wallpaper, a recipe page. And she's been stamped onto a map and painted with watercolors that I've just had a lot of fun with lately. Here are a couple of little things. There's a bookmark that says Survivors. That's from 1994, with all the little animals under the umbrella. And here is a paint chip. I love that it says Gypsy Rose, so that is the reason that one ended up in here. Think about Gypsy Travels. And there's a pretty little fabric tab. Another map page. There's another postcard from Costa Rica. There is a really pretty old photograph of a lady on her bicycle, and it looks like maybe her soldier. We don't know if that's husband, brother, boyfriend. Anyway, that's a really sweet picture. And there's the gold sheer fabric. That's included in the packs. I think there's one of these in the Traveler's Notebook pack and the fabric pack. A couple more tickets in here. And there is a little textile card. I loved that it was so bright, and it just slided in like that, and we have stripes going both ways. There's a little angel stamp, kind of watching over everything. I love the wings. I love to think that angels are everywhere watching. That's everywhere. So talk about travel. And there's a stamp that's been painted. And here we are at the back. There's another one of those beautifully printed cards with the marbling on back, and that beautiful postcard. National Trust. There's East Sussex again. And the marbling, that is something I don't do. Nick the Booksmith does that, and oh my goodness, if I had her talent, she's just does all these amazing things, and she's so smart to figure things out. But I found this, and again, I think it's vintage, really pretty old paper. So, very nice. to have that marbled paper. And that is that. I'm not sure I showed you, but in the center, the strings, they have several beads here, which are kind of fun just to hold. But three beads on each one. I love the yellow too, contrasting with that red. And that is that journal that's going into the shop in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.